Before we get started with today's video, I definitely want to take some time to thank my friends over at So Avant-Garde. All right, so Avant-Garde is a place where you can go online, type in the website, and you have a plethora of fragrances from the niche world. Now, niches can be intimidating, so sample, and they have those discovery sets as well. Head over there, look around, shop around, and save you some money by using the code DEDRICK20 on anything on So Avant-Garde. And it's definitely something where, if you really elevate your fragrance collection or get into something new or tap into another level as far as quality goes, hey, So Avant-Garde has you covered. All right, so head over there, use DEDRICK20, save anything, get anything over there except mind games. Don't worry. You can head over to mindgames.com and use DEDRICK10 for 10% off anything on mindgames.com. All right, so save you some money, explore, see what you discover, and let me know down below in the comments if you rock with anything. All right, appreciate y'all. Let's get started with today's video. YouTube, what's going on? YouTube, what is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, your guy one more time, DEDRICKHJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. All right, Smell Good family. Hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. Positive energy, positive vibes. Y'all know how we rock out here on this channel. Positive vibes only. All right, that is it. All right, so today's video is based off of can't take credit for the video. I've seen this topic floating around, and it's basically 10 fragrances that I believe that every man should own or at least try to see if it could fit them. So this is this is not a how can I say, it's a versatile list, but a lot of these fragrances they might be for the more mature audience. All right, so not saying that none of my young boys out here couldn't rock any of these, because you absolutely can, but in my opinion, and how I've worn these and the situations that I've worn them in, I see that it kind of leans more towards the mature man. All right, so like I said, not excluding anybody due to their age, but I just want to kind of throw that out there before we get started. All right, so up first, I just recently got this fragrance, and I've only worn it 2 times, and my goodness, I feel this is a great fragrance for every man to at least try, yet alone own. From the house of essential parfums, we have Bomb Imperial. Probably clash with my studio light, but man, I gotta shout out my guy Chris, man, of the Smell Good family. Bless me with this bottle, man. Spices, woods, you get this Ambroxan type of explosion with this fragrance as well. But this is it just checks every box. Every box for whatever it is that you got going on in the professional world. If you just want this to be a signature scent on a day-to-day basis, no matter what you got going on, this definitely meets all qualifications there. I think every man should at least get their nose on this. If you do get the chance to get a sample, get that. These bottles aren't that expensive, especially coming out of the niche world. I think you can get a full 100 ml presentation for between like 80 and 95 bucks. All right, so this is one that I definitely think that every man should at least try, yet alone own, because it just does so much and just really hits the head on just that versatile day-to-day wear for sure. I love it, man. From the house of essential parfums, we have Bomb Imperial. I know it's clashing with my light for sure. All right. Up next, I done got cracked on for mentioning this fragrance and recommending this fragrance, but I don't care. I will continue to do so because I just think this is a gentleman's classic, and it definitely deserves to be on this list. From the house of Jean Varvatos, Johnny V. All right, we have Vintage, Jean Varvatos Vintage. Classic fougere barbershop style scent. There's a healthy amount of notes in this thing, from it's tobacco and dates and green notes, spices, just so much going on. Tonka bean in here as well, I believe, lavender. Like, there's a lot of great qualities about this fragrance, and this is a gentleman's classic. That's what this is, man. I always recommend this. And it just works, man. Great for the office, great when you're closing that business deal. Just whatever you got going on, even if you're going on a lunch date. If you're going on a lunch date, man, you want to keep that masculine mystique, you want to keep that vibe going, man, this is one to definitely look into. Great price on discounters. I know the rap on Johnny V is that they don't last that long, but hear me out. This is one of those, at least off of my skin, that I get real good performance. I'm talking about 6 to 7 hours, and if I spray a little bit more, I can even get north of that. All right, so this is a classic in my opinion. I really enjoy it, and I think every man should at least get their nose on it, or yet alone own it for sure. From the house of John Varvatos, Johnny V, we have Vintage. John Varvatos Vintage. Classic for sure. All right, up next from the house of Tommy Ford. All right, Tom Ford. Once I say the two words associated, then you're already gonna know. We have Ombre Leather. All right, Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. Beautiful soft leather in this fragrance, man. Some white floral representation. Vanilla. Amber, excuse me, not vanilla. There's an amber in here and pretty much a sweetness. All right, you get a sweetness in here with that soft leather for sure. There's a white floral representation, and this is just classic. Now, what I've learned about Ombre Leather is that I wear this all year long, except in the high heat when I'm moving out and about outside. Other than that, I literally wear this all year long. This is not the type of leather that's gonna come off and choke somebody out. This is not the type of leather that's going to do something dangerous. And I used to wear it like that. Like, man, I can't wear this in the spring. I can't wear this during a summer night. Nah, my mind has changed because I've tested it. And this definitely will work. It definitely will work, fellas. So if you haven't got your nose on this classic, get your nose on it, man. Like I said, the leather in here is not unattractive. It's not overbearing. It's a soft, sweet leather, and it's really good. From the house of Tom Ford, we have Ombre Leather, and this is the EDP concentration for sure. All right. Up next, not going to spend that much time on this fragrance because this gets talked about probably every single day in FragCom, and rightfully so. It is one of my favorites, top 5 all time, top 3 DNA ever, from the house of Creed. That's right, we got Creed's Aventus. I feel like every man at least once should get their nose on Creed Aventus, or at least once own a bottle of Creed Aventus. I know there's clones and clones and clones and clones for days out there, but let me tell you something, man. This is something that without a shadow of a doubt, will absolutely work for whenever, whatever, however situations. I'm telling you. So, like I said, I have clones of this as well. This is my lone bottle of Creed Aventus, and this is me kind of, holding my own word, so to speak, of just getting to experience this at least once in my lifetime. So, one of my favorite DNAs, a classic in the community, and rightfully so. But I believe every man should at least one time get their nose on this, sample this, or yet alone even own the bottle. From the house of Creed, we have Creed Aventus. Creed, can we get out of focus? Creed Aventus. All right, moving along into my favorite fragrance of all time. Not going to spend that much time on this. Y'all know what it is with this one, man. I love this stuff. It's my favorite fragrance. Take the rest of them away. You can take them all. Leave me this, and I'm good to go. From the house of Chanel, we have Bleu de Chanel. This one got a whole bunch of fingerprints on it. From the house of Chanel, we have Bleu de Chanel, the Parfum. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bleu de Chanel is one of the legacy fragrances in my personal collection. Okay, woods. There's cashmere. There's some citrus. It's sparkly. It has some density to it. It's quality here. I call this niche designer, or designer niche, however you want to word it, for sure. It just works for literally anything and everything that you have going on. I'm talking about all the way to the gym, all the way up to a first date, to a job interview, to a black tie affair, a wedding, don't matter. This is going to work. I love this stuff. Every man should at least get their nose on the DNA. It don't even have to be the Parfum. It could be the EDT. It could be the EDP. It could be the Parfum. You choose. All three are really, really great. This just happened to be my favorite. From the house of Chanel, we got Bleu de Chanel, the Parfum. Fellas, get your nose on this at least once. at least once for sure. Up next, we're gonna stick with the blue theme. And this one right here, man, is very popular. It gained a lot of steam over the last, I wanna say 2 to 3 years of Fragcom. And it's really, really like that. From the house of Narciso Rodriguez, we have For Him Blue Noir, the EDP. Beautiful, soapy, clean vetiver. You got some ebony wood in here. Of course, you got some spices in here as well. But this is a beautiful vetiver scent. It just checks all the boxes, just like all of these fragrances on this list. They check all the boxes. And these are for guys who, you're not trying to do too much, all right? And you're not trying to be too low either. You're trying to find that happy medium, have some quality in your life, and really have some things that just flat out smell great and sophisticated and command a little bit of respect. You know what I mean? And all 10 of these, in my opinion, have that. And this is just another example. Great performer here. I often and only really wear this to the office, but you could definitely do other things with this, no doubt about it. So get a sample of this. I know it's kind of harder to find these days, but there are samples out there, and this is a great one. From the house of Narciso Rodriguez, we have For Him Blue Noir, the EDP. Fellas, get your nose on this, man. Vetiver can be kind of tricky, man. You got your earthy vetiver, your soapy clean vetiver. There's different vetivers, but that's a good one for sure. All right, up next, one of my personal favorites. I'm almost done with this bottle, about a quarter left of it, and I will get another bottle when it's done, because this one that just works. But this one has a little bit more mass appealing feel to it. From the house of Coach, we have the original Coach for Men, the EDT. Coach for Men, the EDT. People just love this. People just, I haven't smelled it in a minute. People just love this stuff, man. Woodsy, you got that beautiful kumquat note in there that's providing this beautiful, juicy, sweet citrus. Got some woods in here, in my opinion. There's a slight spice in here as well. Just a mass appealing favorite. Again, you can do whatever you need to do with this fragrance for sure. Well, ladies love this as well, fellas. They love this. This is something where you're gonna come off attractive, but you're also gonna come off like, you know, like you got a good attitude or a good spirit. You know, not necessarily a fun guy, but somebody who's not necessarily taking themselves too seriously. This fragrance will kind of give off that kind of vibe. You know what I mean? So this is one to look into. You can get it you can get it for a great price on discounters. And it's even in your rack stores as well. So this is one that's a classic in the community, but I think everybody, all the fellas out there, at least get your nose on this. And I promise you, at least I think so, it can find a spot in your collection for sure. From the house of Coach, we have the original Coach for Men. Coach for Men. Doesn't get talked about that much these days, but it is still great. All right. Up next, I'm gonna go with the modern version of this DNA. Not to say that the original is still not great and still not popping off in the communities these days, because it is. But we're from the house of Giorgio Armani. We have Oud EDP, the EDP. EDP, I'm sure it's clashing with my studio light very brightly there, but this is the EDP version. As you can see, there's a nice dent in that bottle. When I first got this, man, I wore this everywhere. I wore this to work. I wore this to take my sons to get ice cream. I wore this to go run errands. It's just a beautiful, aquatic, kind of a little salty. There's some citrus and there's some freshness with this fragrance as well, and it just works big time for the summer and big time for the spring as well. Still keeps that gentleman quality. Big atomizer on this one, just kind of boom, powers out. But yeah, you still get that Oud EDP vibe, but it's much more modernized for sure. So the orange citrus, the lavender in here, that aquatic feel, kind of like a saltiness to this DNA as well. It just works. Suit and tie, just chilling out for brunch or lunch or whatever. You know, it just absolutely works, and it just has that, still has that gentleman feel to it for sure. But this is a really good fragrance for sure. I prefer the EDP over the original these days, but you can't go wrong with either or. And it's just a classic brand, classic fragrance. From the house of Giorgio Armani, we have Oud EDP, the EDP. EDP, good stuff here for sure. All right, 2 more left to discuss, and let's switch it up a bit, man. Let's get a little spicy here. All right, I could have went with either version. I could have went with the multiple flankers, but this is just the one that just, I think is my favorite now. I think it's my favorite of the line, man, because of what it does and what it's good for, at least in my everyday life. From the house of Victor and Rolf, we have the original Spice Bomb, the EDT. man, this is fire, man. It's fire. You get loads of spice. There's leather, there's saffron. You get a pink pepper in here. There's like a citrus, bergamot, orangey type of sparkle in this as well. It performs. It's great for everything. So if you're a fan of the spices, man, this is gonna be up your alley for sure. The EDT gets lost in the shuffle to the extreme and night vision and the new infrared EDP. But let's not forget about where it all started. And the more that I wore this during the fall and the winter of 2023 going into 2024, I've started gravitating towards this as being my favorite. Like it used to be the extreme, and then it kind of switched over to the night vision, but this kind of has all of that in one, and it started at the beginning. Great stuff. If you like more, if you want a more spicier feel, this could be for you. From the house of Victor and Rolf, we have the original Spice Bomb EDT. I'm telling y'all, man, this stuff is like that. All right, a classic in the community. And last but not least, yes, I definitely feel that every man should at least get their nose on this or have a full bottle in their collection at some point in time. It's similar to what another fragrance does that we talked about earlier, but it definitely is its own thing for sure. From the house of Mancera, y'all probably already know what it is. We have Cedrat Boisé. Cedrat Boisé, yes sir. So what do I mean? So Creed Aventus and Cedrat Boisé are kind of like cousins, all right? They're kind of like long distance cousins, all right? And why do I say that? So for those who are watching for the first time, Cedrat Boisé does a lot of the things that Creed Aventus does. You get a fruity opening. You also get a leather feel in here. You get a little bit of earthiness in here as well. You get a little bit of a masculine feel as it starts to dry down with the beautiful sparkly citrus opening, kind of like Creed Aventus. So to me, they do not smell alike, all right? But when you smell them and you experience them, they do the same thing. So the intent is the same with both fragrances. So this is really good. And sometimes, make sure ain't nobody listening. Sometimes I prefer this over Creed Aventus. Sometimes. It just depends on what I got going on or what day of the week it is, because that's how good it is. No disrespect to Creed Aventus, but this one is just like that. So I feel like every man should at least experience this, get their nose on it, take it to the office, wear it on a date, let it be your day-to-day versatile fragrance in your life, and just kind of see how it may work, all right? So from the house of Mancera, we have Cedrat Boisé. Cedrat Boisé. All right, now this list could have been top 20, top 25. There's ones in here that people say, well, where's YSLY? Where's Dear Own 2020? I get it, but I want to switch it up for sure. I want to switch it up and kind of bring some different things to this conversation. You guys have heard of all of these fragrances, but as far as my channel goes, Dear Own 2020 gets a lot of love, and it still will. So, but this was something that I wanted to do. Want to kind of give my 2 cents on for sure. Shout out to everybody who's already touched this topic. But this is a good one. So let me know down below in the comments, what are some of your fragrances, guys, that you recommend to at least try. Every man should at least try or yet alone own a full bottle. Drop them below in the comments for sure. All right. So as always, appreciate all the support, appreciate all the love. I do not take it for granted. Really thank you guys for all that you do for me and for the growth of this channel. All right. So until next time, be cool, be safe, take care of yourselves. You know what it is, baby. Splack it up, splack it down, splack it that thing all around. And remember, what you put out into this world is exactly what you, yes, especially you, the one way in the back there, who don't think this applies to. I'm talking to you. Yeah. What you get in this, what you put in this world is exactly what you are going to get back. All right. Be cool. Appreciate y'all. Peace.